Welcome back to segment 2 of show 8. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about Google's, I guess, arch enemy, so to speak, Facebook. Facebook apparently is making Facebook now is generating the fastest growing area of its revenue from Facebook credits.
Right.
So they still make a lot more from advertising.
I think 11% of their revenues currently are credits.
Which is small, but that is growing like, tripling almost.
I think it went from 4 to 7 to 11 over the last 2 years, pretty much.
Okay. So my question to you is, what are you talking about? Percentage growth?
Yeah, percentage of their revenue.
Percentage of the revenue. Okay, cool. Is Facebook credit Facebook's AdSense? In other words, a new sort of thing for Facebook that is not reinventing the wheel. Credits have existed, but that is going to be the differentiator and down the road going to be their lion's share of revenue? Or is it something that is going to plateau and Facebook will still have to make most of its money from advertising?
Well, it's still early, so it's still hard to say. A lot of people still don't use credits. I think growth can be deceiving if you just look at Groupon, case in point. Just because you grow fast doesn't mean it's going anywhere.
Groupon has gone from the darling to like the poster child for everything that's wrong, apparently.
Yeah, a big-time pariah. But I don't
Demand media is cheering. They're like, yeah, we're biggest fans of Groupon, sorry.
I wouldn't see credits, though, as their version of AdSense or AdWords. I would see it more as their version of PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal, they're like, we need to really kind of take online commerce and make it mainstream. I think what Facebook's move with credits, what's interesting here is how they could close more of the web. Right now, they're actually already on Facebook pages. Big companies can sell their merch through their actual pages. Now they can handle the payment side of it as well. They can keep everything really inside Facebook. I find that interesting. And in terms of their ads, the way marketers, can target you through so many different things, either through banner ads based on your demographic targeting or just keeping their crap updates in your feed through sponsored stories. Now those ads can do so much more than ask you to click or ask you to like it. They can prompt you to buy right then and there. And I find that interesting. Whether or not it catches on, we'll probably see over the next year. But if anything, if I was going to draw a parallel, I'll draw a parallel between eBay and PayPal rather than Google and AdSense.
Okay, so now the follow-up question is, now that Facebook has this credits, let's call it currency or product or whatever you want to call it, where do you see them going? Like, does it make sense for them eventually? Because they make a lot of money. I think the credits sort of spawned out of Zynga, making so much money within the Facebook community where people were basically using initially Zynga credits, I guess, and then Facebook woke up and said, wait a second, Zynga's making more revenue than we are, leveraging our audience, so wait a second, we're going to start charging these credits, and Zynga has to use our credits if they want to make money off of our audience. So that was for virtual gaming. Where else do you see Facebook going, and where do they draw the line, right? I mean, they can get into gambling at some point. I mean, I know gambling in online gambling in the States is not legal,
right.
But I mean, around the world, let's say. But forget the extreme vice stuff. But where do you see naturally them going? Does it make sense for them to go into banking? Does it make sense for them to go into like telco business?
Well, banking isn't something I know a lot of, so I don't know if banking should be their next move. I do want to draw the PayPal analogy because they're still offering like an e-commerce financial service right then. But I think their next step is actually just straight up e-commerce. Like I said, before I could shop your products through Facebook and I can click on them and then buy them through your site. Now I can do it all through Facebook and Facebook can get a cut. I think that can be advantageous for the retailer, even though they have to fork over a cut. They're reaching an audience that they otherwise wouldn't have had. Because it's a big leap for a user to go from your Facebook page to your e-commerce store to your checkout. If they can go from a Facebook ad straight to checkout, you can really increase conversions there.
You always hear about the importance of focus, specialization. Now, like Craigslist still, I think, is known for what? I mean, okay, they got things like the misconnections, which are cute, but I mean, Craigslist boils down still to you're looking for stuff, like apartments or whatever. Is there a risk that if Facebook starts to sort of get its tentacles into everything to justify the $70 billion market value that it's being given, is there a risk that it might actually dilute it and then users don't sort of use Facebook for as much as if they just focused on one thing, whether it's virtual gaming or...
Well, I think Facebook has been very good at taking additional features and plugging them in without kind of getting distracted from their core product. When they bought FriendFeed, they pretty much bought it for the technology and they changed the user interface. Everyone bitched, but everyone got used to it. And in that move, they kind of, relegated Twitter to... I guess purgatory for all intents and purposes. Like, yeah, it's still there, it's still a big player, but no one knows where it's going. So I wouldn't be too worried about them getting away from their core thing. At the end of the day, you know, you log on to Facebook, you're still there to socialize, but there are these ads, there are these brands trying to reach out to you, and a lot of people do choose to interact with them, but whether or not they make that move, they still stay there to interact with their immediate social network. So if they can plug in that e-commerce element, and I think they can do it successfully, I don't think it would compromise the core product.
What do you think of Facebook's new sort of products that they launched recently? The feed, all the bells and whistles that they've.
I think that's getting a little bit loud. Maybe that's just me. I'm old. I'm set in my ways. I'm kind of loath to change my user behavior. Why in the world I would want to subscribe to Scarlett Johansson's feed is beyond me, but that's just me. So one thing that I find interesting.
Would you subscribe to other aspects and parts of Scarlett Johansson?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, that's just wrong.
Maybe your panty drawer.
Focus, guys.
Focus. All right. I think Facebook has also been good at turning the switch on things and then rolling them back. They did it with Places. When they rolled out Places, I thought Foursquare was dead in the water. And recently, they kind of just, Places is still there. You can still check into Places, but it's not a main thing anymore. It's not as featured as prominently.
Okay, so I run a company, and so that means, I have my hands in 7, 8 different functions, finance, strategy, sales, marketing, blah, 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 production. You have all these clients, and you're like the guy they turn to for marketing, right? So our vantage points are very different. Like, when I look at Facebook, aside from obviously as a user, then like, let's say as an executive, so I still see that, okay, Facebook is this massive company, we have to embrace it and leverage it, blah, blah, blah. And then there's always Twitter, which I think is actually very useful. Foursquare, we don't do much, although I see a lot of its benefits for commerce, and I've always told the Facebook, Foursquare guys, I'm like, you guys need to engage with content companies more, because, when I'm basically traveling or waiting, when I have my phone with me, I'm consuming a lot of content. I'm not really doing e-commerce, right? So I think that's something that Foursquare needs to pay more attention to. But I still use Twitter, and I see Twitter's value, though Facebook, let's say, remains king of the hill. Let's say you have the CEO of a company or the VP of marketing of a company, and he comes to you. With all of this that's going on, what is like your 140 character tweet answer to what do I do? And I know it depends, but overarching, is there one that Facebook is best for this, Twitter is best for this, Foursquare is best for this? Or is that impossible? You can't just give everybody like
It's completely impossible. It depends so much on your industry, your business model, and what your goals are,
Okay, let me put you on the spot then. WatchMojo, we're a content company, video producer, blah, blah, blah. Let's use that. Or pick anything you want. Pick a shoemaker. Just pick one thing.
No, let's stick with WatchMojo. What would you use
Free
Facebook
advice.
for?
Well, yeah, just like, forget what we use it for. I just want like your opinion on the spot.
Well, at the end of the day, you guys are content producers, so what you want is audience, what you want is reach. And in that case, Facebook does work for you. You can promote your content effectively. You can keep it featured in sponsored stories, in ads, whatever. But the point is you can get more likes, you can get more followers, and these people would get updates about your content more frequently. You'd increase your traffic. I don't know how much. It depends on how strong your community is. But yeah, it would work for you because what you guys want is eyeballs, and Facebook can give you that.
And Twitter and Foursquare?
Twitter can also give you eyeballs. I don't know what you've done on Twitter or how successful it's been. I would suspect though for WatchMojo stuff, Facebook would offer a bit more potential. It might be 10% more, it might be 50% more. It's hard to say until you try. Foursquare, they're a geolocation check-in thing. You don't really have people checking into your studios that often, so I wouldn't see so much potential.
Okay, yeah, the only way I see Foursquare happening is, let's say we have a lot of travel videos, we have a lot of history videos. So let's say if you check in, the pyramids in Egypt, if we have related video content on history or travel, that could load up. Or I'm not saying that's the way to go. Or if you're like, let's say I'm at New York Fashion Week, well, guess what? We have like 700 videos in fashion, of which 200 are from Fashion Week in New York, et cetera, et cetera. That's, I think, the kind of thing that Foursquare could do, not just with us, but with like every content company where it loads up. Because again, I think e-commerce, early on, everybody was like, oh yeah, you walk by Starbucks, you get an offer. And then people said, hold on, let's press pause on the insanity button. I don't want that. That's not e-commerce mobile. That's like horrible spam. And now people are like trying to find clever ways and this and that. But I say, you know what? Again, you guys are all focused on e-commerce, e-commerce, e-commerce. I think mobile's the bigger opportunity is in content consumption. You're sitting there killing time. What are you doing?
Well, I don't think you're killing time. For Foursquare, I think they have a better opportunity to do kind of a Groupon style thing. Is they have a huge marketing machine that if you check into a place, they can hit you with deals for that place or deals of nearby places. You don't like the service over the drink you just ordered. You move 3 doors down, you get 2 for 1 martinis. I think there's more potential there. With the content side is when I'm checking into places, I'm either checking in to meet people or I'm sitting down to a meal. The chances that I'm going to sit there and consume a lot of content while I'm out in public, especially on my phone, especially if I'm traveling where I'm paying out the butt for data, it seems a lot less likely to be.
This show has all been a ruse to get you to just give me free advice
I'm
for
starting to
WatchMojo.
figure that
so
out, yeah.
we could just turn off the lights. All right, we're going to take a short break, come back for lightning round, or we're going to cover a bunch of topics.